What's up, guys? It's RparkTV here with another video for you guys today. Happy New Year's to everyone that's tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great start so far. And everything that we're going to be talking about today is basically just strictly about performance mods, and basically if it's maybe worth your while, instead of maybe getting a certain part you might are considering just because you're trying to budget down on, or if it's worth just saving up for and getting a more expensive mod. And I'm here to tell you my experience and what I did to my Mustang. And if you've seen my previous videos, you guys already know what's on my car, but I'm gonna do a little quick rundown in terms of performance mods and tell you guys what I did and what you guys should do in terms of doing an order if you care about performance. Okay, so to start off the video for today, guys, I am not gonna say the first mod that you guys are thinking in the top of your head. I know what all you guys are thinking: exhaust. No. The reason why I'm telling you that is because maybe 10 years ago when I was younger, I mean, I'm still pretty fairly young, but 10 years ago when I was maybe like a high schooler, yeah, I would have fucking done that. But now I would tell you no, because the first thing I would do on this list is get some wheels, guys. Get some new tires, get a whole new setup for your wheels and tires. Okay, so the whole reason why I said wheels and tires first, guys, is because Mustangs naturally come with a little over 400 horsepower, especially if you get a GT model, and they tend to have, you know, a little bit of wheel spin, and that's why a lot of people, you know, this is very controversial. You know, a lot of people will say there's a lot of good Mustang drivers out there, and there are, and there's a lot of terrible Mustang drivers out there also, because they don't know how to fucking drive the car simply, and they think they can handle it. They end up peeling out, gassing it too much, and then doing the typical stereotypical thing any Mustang owner does: wrap themselves around a fucking tree, whatever the case is, right? So first off, get you some new wheels and tires, because it will help you with grip, it will help you stay in a straight fucking line, it will help you feel the difference. Also wanted to mention this, guys, I know this is a weird fucking angle, but if you have a Mustang and you don't have 19-inch wheels at least, and they're not over 8.5, you should definitely upgrade them. Get them a bigger, wider size, at least 19x9 in the front, 19x10 in the back. I'd go a little wider, especially if you want big boys. Okay, so for this next part, guys, I'm going to be talking about the suspension. So the reason why I picked suspension second afterwards is because naturally after you pick the wheels and tires, it's going to feel even better when you drive. And depending on also what you pick, you can start from springs, coilovers, or air suspension. There's a lot of options out there, guys, but me personally, if I were to pick one out of the three, I would go the coilover route, because I one day want to track my car. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to keep my car in the future, but if I did, I would definitely track my car rather than just driving on the drag. I know drag is really fun, but me personally, I would go to the track. Also, the main reason why I said I'd pick coilovers out of the three is because, well, not only is it good for track, like I said, when you get a car, naturally you're gonna have to get, you know, new shocks and springs eventually. So if you want to get BC coilovers, that's probably your best bet. That way you can adjust them accordingly to your liking, and you can take it to the track. It's gonna be fun as hell. Okay, so the part you guys been finally waiting for, the exhaust. After you do the suspension and after you do the wheels and tires, I would definitely do the exhaust, and I would do specifically a full catback exhaust. And the reason being is because you're gonna get the full potential out of that in terms of performance, at least from my knowledge and what I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, if there's something better. Yeah, definitely comment that down below. But I would definitely go with a full catback exhaust. And I'm sorry, guys, if I'm looking this way. I'm just making sure my dog's not walking down the street or some shit. But yeah, I would definitely do that. I would stay away from like resonator deletes and like axle backs, because I mean, if you care about just the sound, then maybe that's your route. And if you don't care as much in terms of like getting all the performance, maybe you can go that route. But I've done a Roush axle back before. I've also done a X-pipe resonator delete, and it did sound really good, but compared to the full catback exhaust that I got on here now, it's like night and day, guys. So personally, I would just save up a little more money and just get a full catback exhaust. So definitely do that. Okay guys, my neighbors are working on some construction or renovation, so if you hear some voices and like clattering and crashing, that is why. So for the next part guys, I'm gonna be talking about the engine. So this is where things start to get pretty expensive, okay? If you guys can afford it, by all means, hell yeah, fucking go for it. But if you can't, just wait until due time, because trust me, these cars are pretty solid in terms of mileage. As long as you take care of it, just don't drive the fuck out of it like all these dumbasses out here, and it'll be fine. A lot of these people live with paranoia nowadays, and they think cars are just gonna die immediately. But with all things, if you take care of it, it will last. This is what I would get personally next. Okay, so like I was saying guys, I'm sorry about that. The cold air intake. I would definitely get a cold air intake next for your engine performance mod. So this will gain you, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 horsepower. If you got a tune required one like mine, that's a lot more complicated. I'll get more in depth with that later. But yeah, so next I would just get this guys. Not this specifically. You can get the JLT cold air intake if you guys like it. And there is a housing that can make it run without tuning required. But this specific one, I got tune required cold air intake. So yeah. Okay guys, so once you get the cold air intake, once you get the tires and wheels, once you got it lowered, once you got the exhaust, you're officially now a Fast and Furious fuck. Okay, so all jokes aside guys, once you got the cold air intake and all the good stuff that I mentioned so far, this is where you can take it another step further if you want to go even further in terms of performance and power. But it can be a lot of money guys. I just want to mention that before you guys get this further on in the video. So what I did to further my performance mods after the cold air intake is I got a intake manifold, which is from a 2018 model. It's a ported 18 intake manifold. I'm sorry, I had a tongue twist there. But basically, I mentioned this in my other previous videos, and it does a great job. It definitely ramps up the RPMs more, so at higher speeds, it definitely maintains them better. So for this last part of the video, I wanted to talk about my last two modifications. So the last modifications I can't visibly show you because it's underneath my car, and I'm not willing to go underneath that car right now because it's fucking cold and I'm dying, so I'm trying to wrap up the video. But I have Longtube Headers underneath my car, and I have American Racing Headers, and it's feeding all the way up into my motor now, so I have a full complete exhaust. And last modification is a tune. So I got a HP tuner, and I'll leave the website in the link in the description below. But basically, you know, if you don't run a tune with your Longtube Headers, for people who don't know, you're simply gonna run too rich, and you do not want that when you spent all this fucking money on a car, especially if you strictly care about performance. You want it to run correctly. You don't want it to run too rich. So yeah, so that's basically all I've done to my car and all the things I think you guys should do in order. All the stuff I've said in order in this video, I didn't do in order myself when I got this car, and that's how I would personally do it if I had to restart and remod my car, or if I got a new car and I remodded it. That's the route I would take personally, especially if you care just about racing and if you just care about beating people on the fucking road. I mean, I personally wouldn't race on the road. I don't advise that, but I'm just saying if that's all you care about, yeah, I mean, that's the route I would take. A full bolt-on setup for a Mustang, I mean, trust me, you ain't gonna go wrong there. You're gonna have a blast. But just stay safe out there, guys. It's a new year, and there's a lot of crazy people out there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to subscribe, like, turn on the notification bell if you guys like this channel, if you guys want to stay posted with my new videos. But I am gonna go inside, guys, because I am fucking cold.